Good evening, everybody. My name is Sean Gardner, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation on the company Monsanto. Monsanto was an agrochemical company which was involved in a lot of controversy. We are going to dive into the company today, and we're going to be talking about some of the ethical quandaries that they faced and their rise to success and their fall as well. So to begin, Monsanto was originally founded in 1901. Its main purpose was to manufacture synthetic sweeteners, things for coffee, teas, and whatnot. As we see through the progression of Monsanto's company, they had a variety of different products. They began to produce aspirin in 1917. During World War II, Monsanto produced synthetic rubbers to be used for wartime efforts. And in the 1990s is when we see a critical shift. This is when the company shifted towards genetically modified crop products, and this is when they became the agrochemical company that they are known to be today, or used to be known to be. And lastly, I'll say that Bayer purchased Monsanto in 2016, and later on in this presentation, we will explain that further. So what is Monsanto known for? As stated before, Monsanto made saccharin, which is what was used in artificial sweeteners at the time. They also participated in the excuse me, in the production of Agent Orange, which was used during the Vietnam War. They created GMO seeds and other GMO products, which also had a negative effect that we will talk about later. And Roundup Weed Killer, I'm sure most of us know Roundup Weed Killer, the thing you use to spray the weeds in your driveway, was also made by the company Monsanto. So first we're going to be talking about Roundup Weed Killer, given that it's probably their most well-known and successful product. There is an active ingredient in Roundup called glyphosate, which is a severely harmful chemical to the body. It has been proven to cause cancer, and there are around or over 5,000 lawsuits against Monsanto for this particular product. And not only was glyphosate proven to be harmful, but it was also shown that Monsanto knew it was harmful as early as or earlier than 1983. We don't know for sure. What we do know is that there were many studies conducted, and Monsanto had a strong effort to keep the results hidden. In fact, the EPA, Monsanto did a test on a single mouse and found that that mouse had a significantly higher chance of getting cancer. The EPA, naturally being startled by this finding, asked Monsanto to reproduce the study and to perform it on more mice. But that being said, Monsanto is probably the only company to tell the EPA no thank you, and they decided not to do that test again. So Monsanto's lack of ethics, we can see throughout the history of Monsanto that there are many ethical issues here. The first, as we just stated, was Monsanto's despicable conduct in refusing to test Roundup, even though asked to by the EPA. There were campaigns from the company in particular to manipulate and suppress the findings of scientists, even ones that worked for their company. Not only that, but they manipulated scientific research and scientific papers for their own benefit. In fact, Monsanto even claimed that their product Roundup was as safe as table salt, which is obviously not true. And lastly, I put here the manufacturing of DDT and Agent Orange, which are other harmful chemicals used. So Agent Orange in particular was very bad, as most of us know. Monsanto produced Agent Orange in 1965 for the Vietnam War. If you don't know what Agent Orange is, it is a militarized herbicide which was used to clear out vegetation for military operations in the jungle. Exposure to Agent Orange has many negative health effects, including but not limited to skin cancer, other forms of cancer, birth defects, malformations, and many more. GMO seeds and Monsanto is particularly interesting given that this was probably their biggest and most scandalous event. So when Monsanto started making GMO and genetically modified products, they were selling products for crops, which is actually used on most agricultural places in the United States. Um, Despite knowing that it had dangerous chemicals in it which caused negative health effects, Monsanto sued farmers who refused, excuse me, to come into fold, and they would also have a monopoly on this because they had multiple products which would be used together for these farms. So a lot of farmers were stuck in between a rock and a hard place and had to use these products. Another Monsanto tactic that I'd like to discuss is that they went out of their way to campaign against a certain book that was written about the company. And they even went as far as to pay Google to promote websites to discredit the findings of this book. And lastly, Monsanto has also been proven to use tactics such as surveillance on those who are against their company. So, where's Monsanto now? Well, now Monsanto no longer exists. As of 2016, the German company Bayer, I'm sure most of us know, which makes aspirin, bought the company. They bought the company for over $60 billion. However, in 2020, Bayer agreed to pay over $10 billion to settle Roundup claims. Despite all of this, there are still many lawsuits against the company, and there are a lot of people who were affected by the negative and harmful chemicals in their products, which they refuse to change.